Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and I am live this morning with a Casing Tuesday card, and we are going to be using the fabulous Hydrangea Hill Suite and Bundle. And I love hydrangeas. Do you like hydrangeas at all? Um, I find them really spectacular because of the colors that they come in. They look like someone took a crayon from a crayon set that isn't a color that you find in nature and scribbled on the flowers because hydrangeas look so otherworldly to me. And so when I saw the Hydrangea Haven bundle, I had to get it because it's just so beautiful. As I was playing with it last night, I realized that there were different ways I could do the hydrangea. So I will definitely show you those different ways today so that if you get the bundle, then you'll be able to do that. Hello, hello everyone. So glad if you're joining me now that you're here. Let me pop open my comments thing. If during my live you have any questions, or if you are if you see something that I need to clarify, please post it in the comment section. I am not good at reading your comments while I'm doing it, but I go back afterwards and read them and go through them to make sure I've covered everything. Okay, well, I also want to mention today is celebration, or this month until the end of February, we have celebration. So when you spend $50 with Stampin' Up, you can choose a celebration item for free. It's a product. You can we have different papers you can choose, and there's a stamp set, and then there's also a stamp set and paper bundle as well. And they are fabulous. And it's always nice to get something free when you are purchasing something from Stampin' Up. So if you want to find out more information about that, make sure you link over to my blog. Go down in the description of this video and click on the link over to my blog. The very top banner has a celebration banner. If you click on directly on the banner on that photo, it will take you over to there. All right, good morning, Dee. I'm so glad you're here. Dee always asks the best questions, so we'll see if she has a question today. I'm putting her on the spot, but you don't have to ask a question today or not. I just it's always fun to see a question when it pops up. I'm one of those people that actually like questions because I like to answer questions, and if I can't find the answer, I don't know the answer, I will find it out for you. Okay, I have blabbed enough, so now it is time to switch over to the... Oh, you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't showed you the card today. All right, I need to pull it up out of my computer. So we always start off with a base card, and let me pull it up. I usually do this ahead of time, but today I was running around. Here is my card today. It has a great layer right here. This is a great layer with a flower on it. It's a nice big layer. And then there's a nice little paper layer in the background. And then a greeting layer. This is a nice, I love this layout. This is a really good layout. And let me see if I can pull up the sketch at the same time. Just one second. There is our sketch for today. So of course our card front with Stampin' Up is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the other layers, I switched my layers just a little bit. I tweaked them a little bit. But the layers for this card, if you're doing them exactly like the original, 2 1/2 by 4 and 2 by 4 3/4. So very simple way to build a card, but I think you'll really like this layout. Okay. All right, I am going to switch over to my other camera. Let me bring this down in a little bit. bring it down into, I'm zooming in. All right, here is my card for today. And don't you just love this hydrangea? This one I did as a die cut. So you can kind of see there's those little flowers are cut, but not cut all the way through. So you can kind of lift them up. I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit. And so this actually took 3 dies to build, but it wasn't hard at all. Just a very pretty card. And I'll show you how to do the hydrangea different ways as well. Here is the Hydrangea Haven Bundle. And when you buy these 2 together, the stamp set, Hydrangea Haven, and the hydrangea dies, it's called the Hydrangea Haven Bundle. When you buy them together, you save 10%. So I would definitely recommend getting them together because you'll want this die to cut out the flower that you built. And so they really coordinate well together. And then this little die here, I used it to create this little label here. And then you've got this little tag here. And then look at this strip of little hydrangea blossoms. Those cut out like individual little blossoms. So sweet. Okay, so that's the main supply. There is also an item number for the suite, and I put that in my supply list, but just know right now the suite is on, it isn't available because these pastel pearls have gone out of inventory for a while. They will be back mid-February. So I'm using these today, but they're not actually available to order right now. But mid-February, look for them back in the Stampin' Up store. I linked to also, we've got the Hydrangea Hill beautiful paper that is available right now. For this card, if I wasn't using these pastel pearls, I would just use some regular pearl jewels on there, or another great option would be these beautiful opal rounds. They've kind of got a shimmery sparkle to them. They'd also look really nice on this card. So just to give you some options if you're looking for something to use in the meantime. Okay. Let me put this away and let me get started on the card. I think the most important part of this card is the die cut. So let's do some die cutting. And so we'll need some pieces here. And we're going to cut out, just so you know, I'm using Mossy Meadow for this piece. And I'm only going to need the bottom part of this piece. This cuts out the full hydrangea, but I'm going to just cut out part of it. And then I'm going to use Highland Heather to cut out this blossom piece. And then I'll use Old Olive to cut out the leaf detail. Okay, so those are the 3 dies I'm going to use. Oh, one more. And then I'll cut a little label out with out of Whisper White, not Whisper White, Basic White, with this little die. Okay, let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You can see it right here. I could actually scroll up a little bit. It has a handle on the side that I'm going to crank. So you won't be able to see me crank unless I go up high. Let's see if I can go up high for a second. Okay. All right, so let me grab all of these pieces. Let's see if we can crank them through all at the same time. Sometimes that's hard because things get shifted. So let me grab that piece. Let me do this piece here. This piece can go up here. And then this piece can go over here. Okay, so I'm lining everything up the way it should go through. And hopefully if I don't bump anything, I can crank this all through at the same time. I'm trying not to bump my table too much as I cut everything through. Okay, so let's start here. Here is our beautiful hydrangea piece. We're going to do something with this in a moment. And then here is the detail piece. some of these little details just need to pop out. This one comes out pretty easily. So you can kind of see the detail of that. And then this piece right here, we're going to cut off that, we're going to cut off that top blossom piece in a second. And then the little label right here, it's got a little stitching on the edge. Okay, so before I throw my dies away, I'm going to put them back onto my sheet, and then I'll move this out of the way. And now we can build our hydrangea. Grabbing my snips. Okay, so first let me cut this piece off right here. I'm just going to cut it off right at the base. So now we just have the leaves. Okay. I'm gonna, sorry for bumping the camera. I'm going to bring you down in a little bit more again. Okay, so this piece gets thrown out, and then these two pieces will get glued together, okay, to create that look. So now I have this piece right here, and I'm going to use my Pierce mat, and I'm going to use, this is my stylus tool from my Simply Scored, and I'm going to work on the back side of here, and I'm just going to press down on the petals. What this is going to do, and is probably also loosen those little inside pieces of the hydrangea, which you can poke out with a piercing tool or a thumbtack. What I'm doing is I'm giving the front a little texture by pressing down on each of these little leaves. They're attached, but I'm just going to press down on them. So it's not going to be a flat flower. Okay, I think I got all of them. So I don't know if you can see that, but now they're kind of poked out a little bit. And if you want to, I'm going to just make sure those little centers get poked out too. So use whatever tool works for you. So now also my little centers are all poked out. So now it's got a lot of texture. Some of those leaves are sticking out more than others, but that's going to create your nice hydrangea look. Okay, so now we've got these pieces. Our base piece is going to be a piece of cardstock that is 3 inches by 4 inches. And I'll grab some Tombow. And I'm going to just add some Tombow to the back of here. Let's see if my Tombow, okay, it's flowing this morning. I'm just going to add some Tombow to the back of here. I've got a little bit on my fingers. I'll wipe those off with a tissue. I always keep tissue by my craft table. Okay, and then I'm just going to center everything, the leaves in the center of each of these. Pressing down. Okay. I did get some glue on my pieces. So you could actually die cut this old olive piece with a piece of double-sided adhesive on the back, and then you wouldn't do what I'm doing right now, like getting glue all over you. But that's what it looks like once it's done. And then I want to adhere that to my sheet. Now, you'll want to do this first. You want to lay it down, and mine is going to tilt a little bit, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap because you can see I'm going to put a bow there, and so even though there is a little bit of a gap there, you could put the hydrangea right on top of there, and then you won't see that little gap of where that old olive kind of stops. I don't know if you can see that or not. It kind of stops about 1/4 of an inch. So you can cover that up, but I'm going to actually leave more of a gap so that I can put the ribbon in. So I want this kind of down near the bottom, and then this is going to be about here. So I'm just going to leave that blossom right there kind of as a reminder for how I want to line this up. And then I'm going to just put a little bit on the bottom like this, and then I'm going to line it up onto here, and then I'll grab this piece and then just add this right here. Okay, we'll stick the bow on later. We'll do that last. So there is how you do that particular hydrangea. Now there is another way you can do the hydrangea. There's actually 2 other ways. Maybe there's even more, but I was experimenting last night and I want to see how to do it a different way. So I'm just going to grab another piece of the same size cardstock, or maybe sorry guys, I'm going to grab, I'm not going to do 4x3. This is a scrap piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to grab my basic gray ink pad. You could also use a black ink, like a Memento Tuxedo black ink. And now this is the big blossom. You want to do this blossom first because this blossom here aligns with a die. So this is going to be your base for everything. So you're just going to stamp this. I got some goop on there. Let me just stamp this down. All right. Okay, so it gives you kind of a light hydrangea, which is beautiful. If you stamp this in different colors, this would be really pretty as well, just as is. But to add some color here, I'm going to use Highland Heather and this blob. It's a hydrangea blob. And I'm going to point, there's kind of a pointy side. I'm going to point that out. I don't know, that seemed to work the best last time. Stamp that blob over top. And then I'm going to take Old Olive and the leaf portion. I don't know if you can see that. And line this up over top. And I'm just doing kind of trying to line it up as best as possible. Look at the stem, make sure the stem is lined up, and then go ahead and stamp that down. So after I stamp this, you know, I'm like a person that likes things to kind of be like more matched up and stuff. And after I stamped this, I wasn't really that happy with like the way it looked. I mean, it does have kind of an abstract look to it. So, you know, it's like coloring outside the lines. Yes, that's great. And I stamped that last night, like as an alternate version. And I was just like wondering, why am I not happy with this? So there is a way to fix the unhappy part very simply. And probably that's what they have this designers in mind, is you take this die and now you stick it over top and you run it through, okay? And then you get something that looks like this. So what I did was I die cut it and then I glued it to a piece of 4x3. So that's what you get. So then it trims it down from the blob to that. So that made me a little bit happier, although I think some people would be happy with the free form of the blob. And then you can just stamp it right on the piece. If you wanted to, you could stamp it right on a 4x3 piece, and then you would be ready to go, and you could just put it on a card, and it would be a lot simpler than die cutting it out. Okay, so we've got that version right there. And then the other version, what I did was I did go ahead and I stamped it. And this one wasn't die cut out. I took Stampin' Blends. I just used this outline, same way as I did with the other one, stamped it in basic gray onto a piece of 4x3. And then I use Purple Posy and Highland Heather blends and Old Olive blends on the bottom. And I just colored in the blossoms. So you can use a different coloring method if you wanted to have different colors and highlight everything. So then I had another, just even another version. So this one is my blobby version, like this one. It's the same blob, okay, as before. But then I went in with my blends and I added some highlights to some of the blossoms. So, I mean, you can go further if you don't like that blob look with the different, you can add a little bit of highlights there. And that made me a little bit happier with this one as well. So those are like the 3 different looks that I got with the blossom. So, I like all 3 of them, but I don't know which one shall I put on a card. You know what? I'm going to put this middle one on the card. This is the one that I stamped like this and then I trimmed with this die. So then in the end, we can have a look at the 2 different versions and see which one we liked better. And then of course, I adhered that to the card. So let me put that away. So let's build our card now. I'll need a card base. I'm using Purple Posy. And if you love Purple Posy as a color, this cardstock color is retiring in spring. So in a few months, this color is going away. And we always have a bit of run on colors at the end of the catalog cycle. So I suggest if you like Purple Posy cardstock, go ahead and get it now. We don't have it in an ink pad color. The formulation just didn't come together and it was too light, but the cardstock color is fabulous. And we also have Purple Posy Stampin' Blends, and those will be going away as well. So this base is 11 inches by 4¼ inches, and then I scored it in half at the 5½ inch mark. And then I took a piece of Hydrangea Hill paper. This piece, oh, I've got 2 pieces here. Oh, maybe I'll build a 3rd card. Oh no, I didn't cut a Purple Posy cardstock base. Well, I can do that. Let me go do that real quick. Just hang on. All right. Okay, we're going to make 3 cards because we can. So I'm going to fold this in half. I just cut and scored this really quickly. Okay. I see what I was going for is I guess I was thinking, let's build 3 cards. Now, where did my little extra piece go? Oh, here it is. Okay. So let's build these cards. And this was 2 inches by 5 inches, the Hydrangea Hill paper. And so we'll get our Tombow out again. Come on, shake it, shake it. This bottle's almost empty. And I'm still trying to keep it going. So about 3/8 of an inch from the side. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with this other piece. This other side is pretty too, isn't it? Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy. Okay. I'm going across the room and grabbing my other bottle that I was using yesterday. Let me see if you're gonna flow. There we go, that's better. Okay, 3/8 of an inch from the side. Then I'm going to take this piece, add it centered. Also, I think I'm going to do it, let's see, I'm going to match it up with this card so we can do kind of matchy-matchy and see how it looks afterwards. Move it up a bit. Okay, I'm trying to match them up. Okay, and then, okay, which one am I going to do? I'm going to do this one. This one is the one that I colored with Stampin' Blends. So the green on the bottom is slightly different. So I might go in and darken it up a little bit with Mossy Meadow blends, because it's got kind of that yellow green going on. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take this label, and I did stamp one label last night because I was playing around, so I've got one label for here, and then I got that label that we did earlier. Oh, and I think I stamped this in Mossy Meadow. I think I stamped it in Mossy Meadow. All right, let's stamp this down on here. Okay, so building up the card, and then we need some bows as well. Okay, some bows. And then let's see. Okay, this is going to be attached with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let me grab Dimensionals. For here, and Dimensionals for here. Okay, remove the backings. And then add this about here. I'm trying to recreate the cards so they can kind of line up, and so we can take a look at all three cards lined up. And then over here, got this one lined up about here. And then we'll take a mini glue dot and add it to the back of the bow right here. And do the same for over here. And then we'll take some pearls. And I don't know what I did with all my tools. Okay, so now we'll add pearls. So I'm going to add a pearl down here. I like to repeat my patterns because when I add like embellishments, because I feel like I get like a good placement, and then I want to repeat that placement over and over again because it just, you know, makes me happy. You find the perfect placement for things, and then you want to just repeat it. Okay, I think I've added everything onto the cards that I needed to. Put everything aside here and let me line these babies up. Okay, so starting from over here, this one is the die cut blossom. So it looks a little dark on camera right now, but you can see there's a lot of detail, and in bright light, this is really going to pop and be bright and gorgeous. This one right here, the center one, is the one that we stamped with the 3 different stamps, and then we die cut it out. So this one's also really pretty. I really like how that one turned out as well. And here is the one that I just watercolored, and not watercolored, I just colored with Stampin' Blends. And I don't know, which one do you like better? I I don't know. After struggling with this one a lot, I think I really like this one the best. It's funny. I also really like the die cut one, and I think this one is my least favorite, the one that I colored with blends. Probably because of the yellow green. I think I need to bring a little bit more of the mossy in there. I can fix that later if I want to. But I like this one because I do really love that watercolor look. And once you trim that down with the die, after stamping it, it goes right to the edge. And that actually is like pretty decent. It looks really nice. So those are the 3 different ways that I did that card. I hope you like the 3 different ways so that you can do that the same way with your stamping. Okay, I'm scrolling up to the top. I already said hello to Dee. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Karen. Let's see. Dee says she just ordered the bundle and all the pieces except the pastel pearls. Yes, the pearls, they are out of stock right now, but they are coming in February 15th. So when they come in on the 15th, usually they're not available on the 15th, but generally I've noticed if there's the patterns right, you can check on the 15th, maybe in the evening, but usually the 16th, the next day is usually when I start to see those out of stock items come back in. And if you're interested in those, I would probably go in and check because I'm just willing to bet that they are a hot commodity. So they might go out of stock again. So I would just, maybe nip in there and place an order for those around the middle of February. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Connie. Did I miss someone? Holly. Hello, Holly. Dee says she really likes the texture of the hydrangea with the poking out of the petals. Yes, if you just take a little moment and play with that, it looks so nice, right? All right. Dee says she also likes the middle one, and Janine likes the original one. Yeah, because the color is so rich, it's true. Yes, and the purple posy is heading out, right? That paper, the Hydrangea Hill paper, is really, really gorgeous. It's got actually surprisingly a lot of the purpley blue hydrangeas on it. Oh, I'm showing myself, not you. That is not good. Let me poke over. Sorry, I spread out some of the Hydrangea Hill paper. It's got a lot of the hydrangeas on it. And now I have a hem, which is not good as I'm going through there. Good morning, Mary. I'm so glad you like the cards. Okay, Disa asked a question. If you use regular pearls, can they be colored with Stampin' Blends to match the ones in the suite? I think they can. Let's try it. Let's go. Some things color better than others, so let's go ahead. Let me see if I can find some pearls that... I'm going to turn my camera down in a second. Let's just... I'm going to try... Usually what happens when I do this is I choose the darker color because it does lighten up a bit. So let's grab the Highland, the dark Highland Heather. And I'm going to grab one of the bigger pearls back here because, so I'm going to squiggle on here. So, You can kind of see I squiggled off of the paper, but that won't show like when you remove that from the backing. So yeah, I think you can get some pretty close matches with the pearl. In the meantime, give it a second to dry before you handle it though, because it is a shimmery, shiny surface. It's gonna need like, just maybe set it aside for a minute before you start to handle them, or handle them as little as possible until they get a chance to dry. Okay, so you can color right on the pearls if you want to. You can experiment with your different colors. Good question, Dee. Hello, Michelle. I'm so glad everyone likes different cards. I'm glad I did all of the different kinds. Good morning, Nancy and Diana. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. As always, if you order from me, I reward you with one of my tutorials for free. I have paid tutorials. This month I made a cute little rose heart that you can choose, or I have about, I don't know, it's getting to be close to 80, but I know it's still in the 70 range, 70 something tutorials to choose from. I might have to sub out these pearls because they're not coming back in. This was supposed to be my gift of the month. I will probably be subbing these out because they're going to come in too late for me to put them in with the host code. But I will be subbing them out probably, if they're still available, with the opal rounds, which are also just gorgeous. So I sub them out with something that's equal or greater in value, and actually the opal rounds are more expensive. So I'll probably have to do that unless by some miracle they come in early. But if you spend $75 with me this month, that will be your reward. And then also if you spend $50 or $100, you get that celebration reward as well. If you need any of the supplies I talked about today, just pop on over to my blog. The link is in the blurb underneath my video, in the the thing down below, the description of my video. My words today are just failing me. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Please join us over on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group, where you can post your own card that you make using the same layout. So grab your Stampin' supplies, go over to the Facebook group. If you're not already a member, please ask to join and we'll get you approved. And then you can also join us and share your photo with us of the same card or the same layout that I used. I hope you have a great week. I will be back here on, well, not on Facebook, but on YouTube. I will be doing a video on Friday for you. It will be either a fancy fold card or it will be a 3D project. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye.